This year, 35 AD, the Romans and Parthians put forth rival claimants to vie for the Armenian throne, using the conflict to extend their influence over the region. A new state comes to prominence in India, and Emperor Guangwu of Han makes a move on his rival, Gongsun Shu. Welcome to the Early Histories, where we will highlight the major events that take place in the Common Era, year by year. Last year, we saw the newly promoted deacon Stephen being martyred in Jerusalem, Saul of Tarsus allegedly hearing the voice of Jesus and converting to Christianity, becoming Paul the Apostle, and Emperor Guangwu defeating multiple rebellious warlords in western China. Starting off the year in the Caucasus, we return amid the ongoing turmoil between the Romans and Parthians, competing to decide which power succeeds in installing its contender on the Armenian throne. Last year, the Armenian king Artaxias III died, and King Artabanus II of the Parthian Empire immediately moved to place his own son on the throne. He took the regnal name of Arsaces, but was immediately opposed by Emperor Tiberius of the Roman Empire. Armenia has mainly been a client of Rome, so he knew he would have to act swiftly in order to retain their influence in the region. To avert attention away from Armenia, Tiberius looks to Tiridates, a relative of Artabanus, as a new claimant to the throne of the Parthian Empire. Next, he places Lucius Vitellius in command of his eastern strategy. Vitellius held the position of consul the previous year, and is now named the Roman governor of Syria. Emperor Tiberius also takes the opportunity to find his own contender for the kingship of Armenia, that being Mithridates, a Pharnavazid prince of the kingdom of Iberia, being supported by his brother, Pharasmanes, the king of Iberia. In Armenia, the reign of Arsaces does not see a full year before his end. His servants are bribed to kill him, supposedly by Mithridates according to Tacitus, and they follow through by poisoning him. With the backing of Rome, the Iberian army immediately invades the kingdom, and they capture the city of Artaxata, its former capital. Artabanus, enraged by his son's death, retaliates by acclaiming his second oldest son, Orodes, as rival king of Armenia. When Orodes arrives with his army, he avenges the death of his brother Arsaces by executing the bribed servants who poisoned him. The armies of Orodes and King Pharasmanes of Iberia, on behalf of his brother Mithridates, eventually meet in a pitched battle, and the Iberian forces leave victorious. In the aftermath of the fighting, Orodes flees back to safety in Parthia, but not before the vengeful Artabanus threatens to invade Armenia with his army. But he retreats when Lucius Vitellius musters his Roman legions and stirs fears of a Roman invasion of Mesopotamia. A rebellion pops up in Parthia, and Artabanus is forced to flee to the remote borders of Scythia to reconsolidate his power. At this point, Vitellius urges Tiridates to take advantage of the situation. He leads the Roman legions and their allies to the banks of the Euphrates River, which they then cross. Vitellius, satisfied with the show of Roman power, encourages Tiridates to urge the Parthian nobles to obey him as their king, while respecting Rome, and then returns to Syria with the legions. By the end of the year, Tiridates' Roman-backed position is looking ever stronger in contrast to Artabanus. In approximately this year, the Hellenistic Jewish philosopher Philo writes his symbolic interpretations of the Old Testament. Alexandria, where he resides, has a significant Jewish population, and he is currently their leading thinker. Philo's allegorical works, such as On the Creation and Allegorical Interpretations, reflect his attempt to harmonize Jewish theology with Greek philosophy. Another famous writer, Phaedrus, composes many of his famous works at approximately the same time. Phaedrus is a Roman fabulist, but was originally a Thracian slave who was later freed and became the first to adapt Aesop's fables into Latin verse. His fables, often featuring animals and moral lessons, emphasize themes of justice, power, and human folly, with stories like The Wolf and the Lamb, illustrating how the strong oppress the weak, and The Fox and the Grapes, warning against dismissing what one cannot attain. Many of his fables are noteworthy for containing subtle political critiques of Roman society. Over in India, a newer state comes to full prominence around this time. Known as the Western Satraps, they are led by the Indo-Scythians, the same ethnicity of people who reign in the northern satraps, being a group of nomadic people of Iranic Scythian origin who migrated from Central Asia in the past. Most of its residents follow the Buddhist and Hindu religions common to this region of the world. It is worth noting that the Western satraps had already existed as an entity before this year, but they became more firmly established around this time. In China, the duel between Emperor Guangwu of the Han Dynasty and his rival Gongsun Shu of Changjia continues. This time, the emperor makes a move and orders a two-prong invasion of Gongsun's breakaway territory, which he has ruled independently for over a decade at this point. Gongsun Shu counters by assassinating two of the Han generals that are in control of the imperial invasion. This has the intended effect of stopping the invasion in its tracks for the time being, although they do not retreat but dig in and begin to reassess for now. Emperor Guangwu is on the cusp of returning complete imperial control to the Han Dynasty's territories after years of turmoil, but will have to reevaluate his next move. We will leave this year, 35 AD, with the Iberians on behalf of the Romans beating back Parthian control in Armenia, the Western satraps being established in India, and Emperor Guangwu of Han battling with his rival Gongsun Shu. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to be notified when the next iteration of the yearly histories will be released. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next year in 36 AD to continue the fascinating stories of the world of antiquity and cover its major events.